Hello, everyone, and welcome to something a little bit new. I'm calling it the BattleBox Buyer's Guide. This was suggested by a viewer by the name of Fide Zelamon, or Zelamon. I am sorry, I probably should have checked how to pronounce that before I started. But yeah, they suggested doing reviews of the actual combat patrols and seeing how they are. So I figured I'll give it a shot. Let me know, what you think. I genuinely don't think anyone actually cares about my opinion because they've seen me play the game and know I'm not very good at it. But yeah, I'm going to go in and try three parts. I'm going to go with the models themselves. I'm going to go with how they function as a combat patrol, and also how they would be for a new player if this was how you were starting your army. And yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting one. I do have opinions on this, and I think it may rile some people up. If you are not a fan of monopose models, you are going to get very angry with me in about 120 seconds time. So get those angry comments out the way down now. I hear you. I just don't agree. So let's start. Yeah, let's see. Start a review. So I'm about to cause a storm of very angry comments. I really like Primaris models. I have been playing 40k since second edition, and this is the first time I've ever really been inspired to buy a Space Marine army. I also love Terminators, and the glow up on them is absolutely phenomenal. They are so good. Like, these models are just see. This is why I'm recording and not just doing photos. Like, he's brilliant. He's huge. Honestly, the I could do without the tactical rock. The intro to the intro picture image for the Space Marines versus Imperial Guard one was hilarious because the Imperial Guard commander is just so much smaller than he is. But no, I mean, they're everything Space Marines should be. They're big, they're stompy, they're dynamic. Um, I'm absolutely a defender of the basic intercessor armor. I think it has a really cool sci-fi military thing view to it. Um, I mean, I also, I like that it can be customized, but doesn't have to be. Like these guys, I designed the trench hounds around the idea of being more of a set military, and like they've got like the occasional purity seal, but that they are more, they have been trained by human Imperial Guard and like guerrilla fighters rather than the Codex Astartes, and so I think it allows that level of customization. And yeah, I just these models are great. Oh my god, they're so good that the camera won't focus on them. Like, oh yeah, and now, I mean, look at these dudes. I also, in another sentence which is going to make people just think I'm a degenerate and completely just disregard my opinion, and they're probably correct to do so. It makes them they are really easy to line highlight and make them just, oh, they're so pretty. No, I have nothing but good things to say about novels, which is good because I don't have much good to say about anything else. Which brings us on to. So, I have, over the last few months, I think I've quite got to grips with how these guys work. The the Infernus Marines start on the board, everything else turns up as a big, like, cool hammer blow, and they just wipe everything out and hope for the best. And honestly, it's, even now I understand it, I think it's kind of rubbish. I really don't like any combat patrol where one of the heroes, there's too many heroes that can't be attached to the units. There's my big problem with I was going to get the Death Watch combat patrol, but the apothecary and the lieutenant are both individual units, so yeah. Honestly, if it was up to me, and GW, if you're listening and you want someone to design your combat patrols for you, I would remove the captain and put in the Stern Guard unit. Give them all the stats for the apart from give them the heavy bolter, give the rest of them the stats for the Stern Guard regular bolt rifle, and just call them Stern Guard ranged weapons. So you don't have to have a bunch of combi bolters and one with a regular bolter. It's combat patrol. Like a lot of this stuff has been flattened down for ease of use, and I honestly think another unit starting on the table, as opposed to like two units. You can have the librarian or the captain starting on the table, but yeah. And I also, for the record, I would keep the librarian because sustained hits is a more interesting tactical choice than the captain just being okay. We are a beat stick now. So yeah, I'm going to compare here, and I'm going to compare it in the next section as well. I honestly think that this suffers next to the Blood Angels Combat Patrol, which I firmly believe is the best of all of the Space Marine ones. The Blood Angels one comes with, like I want here, 3 5-man units and a librarian, actually. But it also comes with a transport, so it gives them something big and heavy, which I guess is what the Terminators are meant to be. But I know it falls flat. I enjoy it, and it's fun doing the narrative of, and then the Terminators turn up and just wipe everything out. But I mean, it's just not. As a narrative thing, it's cool. As a gameplay thing, it is. Yeah, it's kind of weak. It's pretty weak. So, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of awful for new players. I mean, it's not bad. I just think it's tactically disjointed. I think again, it really would have preferred to have more units starting on the table, because the Terminators starting on the table every time I've tried it just doesn't work. They like teleporting into where they're needed. I don't think it's a very good start for an army. I think again the Blood Angels one with its better variety of units, a vehicle, just feels stronger. Like yeah, I my Space Marine army is essentially 4 starter boxes worth of models. It's the Dark Imperium, Indomitus, Leviathan, and Forgebane, just messed together with a few bits from the Conquest magazine. And honestly, I think Leviathan is the one where they had the Terminators they wanted to throw in, and then everything else is kind of secondary. And the Combat Patrol feels like that too. Like they have the Terminators and they needed to show them off. But I do think you could have done that without the captain and because pounds and points, the 5 Stern Guard veterans are about the same as a Terminator captain. um, so I think you'd be getting a slightly better deal to the tune of about like you'd be saving £5 more, but actually, let's get on to the cost because I've done the maths. Now you can't buy Infernus Marines or the Terminator Captain separately, so I price them as half a box of Hellblasters and the Terminator Chaplain, which comes to 108 RRP if they were all the multi-part boxes, which none of them are. It's £95 for the Combat Patrol itself for a saving of a whole £13, which is dreadful for these. But this one is an interesting one because it comes with a couple of other options. This Combat Patrol is £89 if you get the regular starter set and add in the Librarian separately. And then you can either keep the Tyranids, you've got to add the Barb Gaunts to them, or you can sell them for a bit more of a bit of money off, or you can get them for 125 with the Ultimate Starter set, which also comes with the complete Tyrannid starter set, and a bunch of terrain and some boards. And it is such a good deal that despite the fact I've already got them, I'm actually kind of considering getting it again just for the terrain, and the boards, and I mean, who doesn't love more termagants? And Terminators, if I'm being entirely honest. But yeah, I think if you want to start Space Marines, I think, as I've said before, I think the Blood Angel Combat Patrol is a better start because it gives you a better variety of base literal battle line units. Like you get the incursors, the ones with the LaForge eye thing, and intercessors and aggressors backed up by a librarian. So like honestly, if I was starting Space Marines now, my first thought would be grab two of them and a captain as like my army. But yeah, it's not awful. I just think there are better options, and also it's not great because to expand out from this, you would have to start getting the basic troops rather than starting with the basic troops and getting the cooler stuff afterwards. Yeah, as you know, your play style. Like this would force you into a play style of small elite units that get up in people's faces, which isn't really how I play Space Marines. But yeah, like I say, the models are gorgeous. I would not recommend it for a first-time buyer. I mean, if you want it to expand your army, it's actually quite a good expansion for the army. Like this, after the two Blood Angel boxes, is probably quite a good 2,000 point list. Very psychic heavy, but hey, I mean, you're not playing Black Templars if you've got these guys, are you? So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm guessing it's a review. I should give it some kind of numerical rating. So let's call it, I don't know, the second missing Primarch out of 10. Yeah. So yeah, if you liked this, want to see more, give me a like. Let me know what you think about these guys down in the comments. I mean, I'm sure there are people who are going to be telling me these are the best starting 4 Space Marines could ever have. And if you want to see more, subscribe and absolutely tell me if you want to see more as well. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.